every impaired driver could be a life saved. Today, we're talking with Deputy Cody Baker about why DWI stops are more than just a traffic stop. Welcome back to the Grayson County Sheriff's Office podcast. I'm Lieutenant Jeremy Cox, and today I'm joined with
Deputy Cody Baker.
And so today we're talking about something that every patrol deputy and every law enforcement officer knows is a very crucial part of their job, and that is DWI enforcement. Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And so, Cody, let's start with the basics, okay? So when you're on patrol, how often do you say you encounter someone who's driving while intoxicated?
Unfortunately, it's more than anybody wants. It's more than any officer wants to see. With working nights, with working with around a lake, summer vibes going on. We have a tendency to see higher results and more amount of people that are driving while intoxicated in Grayson County.
Absolutely right. Because you're exactly right. You're pointing out a lot of the things that attract that type of unfortunately behavior. You've got access to the lake. We've got summer activities. Unfortunately, a lot of people go out to the lake. They're having a lot of fun, but sometimes that fun includes alcohol, and people don't act responsibly.
It does, and I think they kind of carry it on and say, "Yep, it's time to go home." And I've been out all day, and now it's time to get my kids in the car and let's pile up and drive home. And it just creates a substantial risk to the public and every human when they start operating a motor vehicle.
So some people might have a misconception about what a DWI stop is, right? They might think, oh, well, that's just another like traffic infraction. It's not like running a stop sign. In fact, what's really at stake here when you pull over someone who is impaired?
Yeah, a lot of things go into it. One, when someone's impaired, sometimes poor judgment follows that. So they may not want to pull over. They may do more than just running the stop sign. It goes back to, drifting between lanes, getting closer to striking other vehicles, striking signs. The list goes on and on of what traffic infractions that an intoxicated person might do, which inevitably puts the public and the Grayson County as a whole at a risk. The biggest thing that I take is for the stake of it is pulling someone out who's intoxicated, getting them out on the side of the road, and trying to begin what we call SFSTs.
SFSTs. So what does that mean?
Standard field sobriety testing.
Okay.
It's standardized testing per NHTSA.
So when you're on patrol, and let's say you're looking for someone who might be an impaired driver, what are some things that you might look for that could be an indicator that that's what's happening?
Yeah, obviously we're looking for any traffic infraction or violation, but specifically straight towards DWIs. After doing so many of them, I've started really looking at how are they maintaining the vehicle? Are they going onto the shoulder, coming back across the center line? Are they stopping abruptly? When there's no one else in front of them, they're just stopping because their reactionary gap is closed. Other than that, you have people not using headlights. The list goes on and on clues that I've gathered.
Okay, awesome. And you think about people not using the headlights at night, right? We've all probably seen, and as we're driving to and from the vehicle that's swerving around, that's wildly unsafe, especially in here in Grayson County. We have so much construction through the area, and those sudden lane changes or that shifting lane pattern. That can be extremely dangerous, especially when you're having a hard enough time just maintaining a single lane as it is.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it goes on and on with new roads being developed. The county's growing. People might not be from down here. They're just coming to visit the lake, don't know that construction's going on. And the next thing you know, we're working a fatal crash.
Yeah, terrible. So, people might not realize this, but DWI enforcement is more than just catching someone, right? It's about preventing tragedy. And can you speak on a little bit about the proactive nature of this type of enforcement or proactive patrol for this?
Yeah, absolutely. Being visible in those high areas where, people are just starting to leave the lake, just starting to leave the bars. I get asked all the time. People drive by and see me sitting down the road from the bar. Well, why are you sitting down here? Well, there's a bar down the road that I work numerous DWIs from, and a lot of people, some people have different opinions about that, but the goal is to stop it before it gets any worse. Obviously, we can't go inside the bar and tell them, "Hey, you probably shouldn't drive," but we try to stop it as quick as we can because we don't know if it's your family, my family, or someone in Grayson County's family that's just driving down the road that they're about to intersect and they're obviously too impaired to make the turn, to make the stop, and result in a fatality crash.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, some people might think that, well, you're just out to get people, but in reality, it's about protection and prevention.
Absolutely, yeah. Just doing what's best for the county, serving the county with the highest integrity, but also making sure that I know that my family and that anyone else in Grayson County's family is safe while being out on the roads.
Absolutely. So, have you had any cases that have really stuck with you, right? Uh, when you have stopped someone who was intoxicated, that maybe that you prevented something that could have been worse.
Yeah. So multiple cases I've had where people their blood, which is what we result to, is getting the blood from someone after we make an arrest for DWI. I've had a couple that are very close to 4.0. Um, we're talking legal limit is being 0.08. 4.0 is a very high number, um, and it's almost lethal at that point. But these people are still driving at that level of intoxication
Mm,
with no care or disregard for the public safety.
my gosh, and that's unfortunate, right? Like because you think if you think about what, again, you go back to the blood alcohol concentration level. If you think about what is that legal limit, it's 0.08. And now this person, you go and you get this blood draw, and those results come back, and it's 0.4. Grayson County, that's a lot. And the fact that this person is able to function, let alone drive a car.
Yeah, and I don't think they're able to drive.
No,
They they
obviously not.
they do try to drive,
They're trying to drive.
and it's just. I mean, when you talk about a vehicle and the weight of the vehicle, I mean, you're putting somebody in a machine that's capable of doing over 100 miles an hour, and it's basically turned into a human missile just waiting to strike somebody.
Absolutely. Dangerous. So you've got a fair amount of experience in doing this. Uh, it takes skill, right? It takes training uh, and a fair amount of good judgment and experience. Uh, what would you say to a new deputy, a new law enforcement officer who's interested in working these types of offenses, DWI enforcement?
Yeah, revert to your training, trust your training, but more than more importantly, practice your training. Be confident in your skills, practice your skills. And the biggest thing is just remember that you're not out there to write tickets. Every traffic stop, you can potentially save somebody's life. And by doing that is trusting your instincts, trusting your skills, doing the test right, and ensuring that, the people of Grayson County are safe.
Well said. Well said. That's a great way to put it. So, Grayson County DWI enforcement might not always get the spotlight, but it is one of the important and critical roles, critical parts of the job that law enforcement officers, and particularly our deputies here at Grayson County, do every day, including Deputy Baker, to keep Grayson County safe. And so, thank you for sharing this with us today.
Thank y'all for having me.
And once again, Grayson County, you can always find us here on the podcast every Thursday at 9 a.m. We thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, all the things. But most importantly, Grayson County, stay safe.